So where does one start? Um, I think there's a moment in time that you just know this is where I'm meant to be. And it's this intuitive prompting when words are on a screen that just say, yes, I'm in. And yes, the words are reset. And probably from a conscious perspective, I knew that my life has brought me to the moment that I've decided to be part of reSet for one specific reason at that time. And so on a conscious level. And the reason was that after I had my near-death experience or death experience and have been shown the depths of what separation looked like in my body, has started a path, which was, this was in 2020. And then going on a path, having a miscarriage of a baby, having a husband that passed away, and many other experiences that has shaped me into that moment that I said yes to reSet. And the conscious thought behind that was, I think it's about time that I reset all of me. Because before the near-death experience, so everything before that, I was resetting beliefs, identities, structures. So that process has already occurred for me. But after the moment, I remember the moment of passing away so clearly. Since that moment until after my husband passed away, there was a time frame that I didn't do resetting like I've done before that. And I was aware of that. And I said to myself, I'm not going to go into trying to do that. I'm going to be present with the experience that I'm in, because that experiences are busy shaping me. I didn't know how that shaping will ever look like, but I knew it was happening. And that was also the time that I consciously named, or been told by my husband still at that stage, what the vision that I'm putting onto paper should be called Sophia, and not knowing who that was at the time. But somewhere in me always knew who it was all of the time. So so the intention was to reset the last 4 years. And that's what I thought was what was going to happen. But somewhere along the line, while those 4 years were being reset, there was also this knowing that as that is happening, two other things are happening simultaneously. The one is I could also start, which I've never done before. I started consciously participating in this container from a higher self perspective. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but it felt like there was parts of my embodiment of my higher consciousness that was already anchored in me. And I wanted to see, how does that part of me together with my human part, I know it sounds crazy, but how will that look like if I reset both of that simultaneously, knowing that it's one, but it's two different consciousnesses. The one is a divine consciousness and the one is a human consciousness. So I made this little experiment for myself. Let me do both of that and see what happens. Because in the past 4 years, I also, on a very, very, very deep cellular level, went through a divine masculine and feminine energetic emergence that has happened for me, and therefore have become the codings of my service in this world. And it just felt like the natural next thing was to do both simultaneously, while me as Sarita is aware of that happening. So that's the one thing. But the other side was, I have, through all of my journeys, this and other lifetimes, always felt like it's a very individual journey. And many times had conversations with Sophia, why do I always have to do this on my own, besides having her there, which is everyone? And my question was, how do I get someone in the physical form also being part of my journey? Why does it always have to be feel so alone on a human level? And she said to me, because the work that you are doing and the work that all of those that you will ever touch in the future will be a very deep level. And therefore, it requires parts of the journey to feel that depth of aloneness, because that's what's required when you go to the depths of your beingness. And you can't do it with others. And I said to her, that's fine, but surely I need to be negotiating with her, but surely I need to service others in this world. I can't keep on doing this on my own. Or I don't mind, but it feels like surely the purpose of being in form is to be of service to others as you. And I didn't know how that will look like, then starting to do that with others, until I actually came into contact with Anna. So firstly, just to acknowledge that, because there's a resonance that you just know this is the one that I'm trusting, because there's a deep honoring of the sovereignty of who I am, and what I'm seeing is reflecting that back to me, and therefore that's where I want to be, in containers. Realizing that in doing so, I'm also simultaneously having the opportunity to practice. How does it look like to show up in a sovereign container, but not only show up, contribute and co-create? And just honoring you, Anna, for going through this, setting up the containers, setting up the language of that's on the websites, in the Telegram group, because that's a lot of words that needs to be formulated and put on there, and that is work and that is time. So just deep honoring for that. And then, so what also therefore drew me to the container is the resonance with another sovereign sage that I'm resonating with, and knowing that those that is called to set sovereign container will therefore also be in the same resonance, and therefore I want to be part of that. I've been in containers before where there's just immediate no resonance, and I felt myself just energetically removing myself, although I'm physically present in it because I've paid for it. Now I'm here. But what that has showed me is the clear distinction between the two, and to know that this knowing that my heart gave me in every moment since I've joined the sovereign containers, I know how that feels like, look like, taste like, and how I therefore contribute in it. So the last part of what I would love to share is why I brought up that aloneness in my journey. Is I never felt safe enough amongst anyone else on this earth plane to share this language with. You know, when you start speaking to someone and you realize they do not have a clue what you're talking about, because of no fault from their side, but there's just no resonance, and therefore shouldn't be spoken. Yes, the emanation can still be there and they can receive what they need to receive, but don't go into conversation that we are having here. Not necessary. And that has also taught me there's many times in life that you just show up as who you are and know that Sophia will just sign through. And other times there's conversations that needs to happen because it needs to be expressed. And therefore, the last part is that I had the conversations I'm having here and with you. I've had those conversations in my head and in my body my whole life, in the aloneness of my body and in a landscape which is so rich, which never feels alone. But it was alone, and it was not bounced off another human being, is what I meant by alone. So therefore, I know the inner landscape of my being like the back of my hand. And I know the inside of Sophia's womb equally like the back of my hand, because I've been there the moment that I passed away in hospital. I've been for the first time into her womb fully. And already since that moment, start feeling the spaciousness of what that looks like and the holding that takes place on a path when she takes your hands and walk with you. But she wanted me to be part of this container so that I can start voicing, expressing and sharing all that is within me to share, because it needs to be expressed and be heard by the ears of others that's also resonating in sovereignty. And where this moment leads to, I've got no idea. The questions we've been asked in ceremony 6, I've got no answers, because every time when an answer comes up, if I've learned nothing else, I now know how my mental, emotional, and physical body respond and react in many ways when questions are asked. And I've been shown how in the womb of Sophia, just to stay in the presence of her womb without touching all of those things that's trying to take my attention out of her womb. Because the only place that feels safe, sovereign, pristine, whole, and the only place where I want to be is her womb. And whatever she wants me to birth as her, through her, I'm sure I'll be shown in the moment that it's necessary to birth, whenever that is, in this moment, next week, next year, the next eon, who knows? I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm held, that I'm loved, that I'm an immaculate creator, creation, and the creativity that flows through me is the voice, the breath, and the body of Sophia. And all of you have been playing an intricate part for this weaving of this container, and each one of us in different levels of knowing, understanding, integrating, and reflection. Exactly how it needs to be for all that needs to occur in this container to be so. And that's me.
Oh, thank you so much, Suraj. I deeply appreciate your shares and just dropping us into the holy black womb of the Divine Mother for life.